Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're doing a how to build for the brand new Summer Margaret that came out yesterday on Global, and because she is for the Nidhogg Demonic Beast, I'm going to go over all the stuff I normally do, and then at the end I'm going to go over a few things I want to talk about her, but that's really it. Overall her CC is insane. Currently she is running HTB defense. If I sort by combat class, she is number 3. Even beating characters like Trenton and Bond, my Freya, who is really wailed. Deanne, of course, is going to be higher than her, and of course LRLV is also going to be higher than her, but that's just how it works. But if you're looking at her, she's 1.6, so if you had her 6.6, you're probably looking at around 67k. She's got alright gear, she's not got perfect gear, but she does have all outfits and Relic as well. But anyway, let's get into it. Mostly onto her substats. They're not the best. Mainly her defense-related stats. Her attack-related stats don't really matter really because she's not really there for the DPS. And with her passive and all the basic stats you get on the Goddess team, you get a lot of damage just from that alone. So it's not actually too big of a problem. You get 20% all stats from Freya's Relic as well, which is nice. But mainly you want to look at defense, crit defense, and crit resistance. Resistance is also a nice one to have pretty high as well, especially when you get to when you get to floor 3. It's really nice to have. Her cards, she does have Ghislaine's card here, which is okay. The only problem with it is once again on the floor 2 and 3, like if you remove a stance, you get infected on floor 2, for example. Or on floor 3, if you cancel a stance, the gauge goes up, which is like irritating. Apart from that, the damage isn't that bad. Animations are okay. I like the art style on here; it's kind of cool. Like her cutting through, which is nice. Her other ability, which is her cleanse, it's kind of good. It's a completely unique skill. There's been no skill like this before, which is remove debuffs from allies and decrease their damage taken by 20% for 2 turns. That is nice to have, especially when you get to the later phases where he starts pumping damage a lot. Like a lot. And plus it does it at level 1, which is always nice. At level 2, you get increased attack related stats by 10% and decrease their damage taken by 30% if there are any debuffs removed. And then there's another attack-related stat buff for 2 turns, so it adds 2 really. But mainly, if you're using a level 2, you're either using it to remove, like, either you're preparing to get hit by a strong ult, which is like floor 3, or you're doing it to like cleanse, like a 1 debuff. Unless, of course, you're on the phase where you get constant corrosions, and maybe you might have a few debuffs, you get a few extra buffs from that. On to third level 3 buff, sorry. Increase attack related stats by 15% and decrease their damage taken by 40% for 3 turns. If there are any debuffs, English, nice. They are removed and their attack related stats are increased by another 15% for 3 turns. I'm pretty sure that doesn't. So if there's like 3 debuffs, you only get 2 buffs instead of getting 3. It's a way to like fair it out. But to be honest, a level 3 should just be completely broken because the chance of you pulling a level 3 is really low. Especially on a cleanse skill. If it was like, I don't know, like Liz's remove buff skill, you have a chance because you're probably not using it every turn. But this skill for Margaret, you're probably going to be using a lot because there's a lot of debuffs, there's a lot of high damage like things, you're probably going to be using it a lot. Her ultimate is normal Sever with the normal Margaret effect at 6.6, which doesn't even work on the Demonic Beast anyway, so you don't have to wait for 6.6. Grace, she says that she shares the same grace as the other Margaret, which is okay. It's not too good for this Demonic Beast because he doesn't really give himself buffs. The only time he really gives himself buffs is floor 2, phase 3, and by then you want to remove them because they're like 30% damage reduction a pop. You don't really want to be ulting even if she's got 5% attack increase. It's not the best. Her key thing for this Margaret is definitely her Relic. Sorry, her passive, which is increase Goddess allies basic stats by 10% for each one participating in Nidhogg, so that's already 40% basic stats. And then increase Goddess damage dealt by 15% up to 45% every time Margaret uses a buff skill. In addition, if the hero removes a skill, uses a skill and removes a debuff from an ally, they are healed 20% of max HP. So this bottom bit here is Miguelda's passive, Red Miguelda's passive here, and all the rest of it is, so this top bit here, the 10% for the 40% basic stats is the same amount of basic stats you get from Blue Margaret. What they've done is they've said, okay, you get Blue Margaret's passive, plus you get this damage increase, plus you get Red Miguelda's heal. That's what they've done. They've just combined lots of characters together to try and make it so you have survivability, you've got more DPS, so you don't need all the survivability for longer, and you've got healing as well because you're going to need loads because there's no other remove buff goddesses currently in the game. Anyway, on to a relic, which is for each ally from the archangels on the battlefield, increase the hero's damage dealt to enemies by 5% and decrease the hero's damage taken by 5%, which is kind of nice. The damage decrease is the damage reduction is nice. Margaret, if you're running, let me actually show you the team I use. So there is two teams you can use. You can use the Mael one if you have Mael 5/6 or 6/6. If not, I don't recommend running the Mael team. If not, when you're like me, this team is probably the better team for you. Of course, I might do a whole video of me doing all three floors, but as you can see, like, she doesn't have a good link. She's got my red Derriere, which hasn't even got a good HP defense set. She's got 266k HP. That's very good. Bear in mind, Liz has perfect gear on and has Diane with perfect gear, who's got 70,000 CC. Yeah, it's kind of insane. Also, Margaret's got a very high attack already. But yeah, onto her gear next. So her gear is pretty simple. Either if you're running her with the male team, you want attack crit dam, which I'll show you I have here. And then, if you want to be riding her on the team that I run, which is the Tarmiel team, you want HP defense because you don't really want her being targeted at all. And the way to do that is just have the highest max HP. So she is the way to go. HP defense is definitely the way to go. Of course, I'll have a whole video. If I do the Demonic Beast video on it, I'll have a whole thing on it, so don't worry. Outfits, a lot of these are for free. You've got Final Boss. This one I bought because it's Halloween one from ages ago. This is the current UR one. You've got, once again, like I said, Final Boss, Old One, SSR, and then SSR. Weapons, this is the only one I bought. If not, you'd have 4 at the moment. If you collected all the free ones. Actually, no, you would have 5 because of her Hawk Pass one, which I don't have. And then headgears, once again, if you have a Hawk Pass one, you have 5. If not, you have 4. But overall, she's a very good character. Her weapon, I really like this weapon design. It's really cool. In comparison to her others, she doesn't have many good weapons. And I'm not going to include this one, because this one's the best by a mile. But you got this one, you got this one, you got this one. And you got these as well. I think this one's the best, followed closely by this one. Just looks so cool. But yeah, that's it. Overall, I don't think... Let's just say, right, you're struggling with Nidhogg, you've just got Freya's Relic. And let's just say, all your characters are not the most invested. You will struggle to do Nidhogg floor 3 still. It's possible, with maybe quite a bit of RNG, maybe you get really lucky and you do it on your first go, but it will take you quite a while. And I think that Margaret is part of I think that she's not the solution, she's part of the solution. And the reason I say that is, as much as people are going to hate it, Mael was made for Demonic Beast. Mael was designed for Demonic Beast. Freya's Relic came out with him for goddesses, all that kind of stuff. He was made for Demonic Beast. No matter how much people are trying to say no, he isn't. He got a half PvP passive, and the rest of it works in PvE. So he's a PvE. I'm saying he's a PvE character. And at this point, they might as well just full commit to him being PvE and just give him a PvE relic. Just give him a Demonic Beast relic, and just be like, whenever he pops his ult, he also removes buffs as well, or something along the lines of that. Or just, I don't know, just give it like debuff immunity or something, because that's really what this team needs. That's really what all the teams need. And you can say, oh yeah, you can use her late. But why would you want to use her late? It's like she's not designed for that. She's not designed for that content, and they showed us that by giving her a relic that only worked in a Knighthood boss. So all I'm saying is that I think that she is not the solution, but part of the solution. Do I recommend something? Yeah, of course. It's definitely worth it. She's broken. She's on a decent banner, and probably most people watching this video probably don't have half the people on the banner. I got 4 different characters I didn't even have on the banner. And recently I pulled Cusack, who's been escaping me for years. Pulled him in my ticket summon today on the Demon King banner. But yeah, just like bear that in mind. Pulling her is not going to be able. You can do floor 1 and 2. One with absolutely horrible RNG. Floor 2, you still need quite a bit of decent RNG, mainly on cleanses, but that's the same with all teams really. And then floor 3, the gods have got to be on your side, especially when you get to like phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 1 is not easy, it's actually pretty easy, but phase 2 and phase 3, especially phase 2, the X-Store ult, it can be terrifying. Because if he lands even a singular crit on your Tarmiel, you lose. because he just hits. Because he steals all your stats, including all your stats that you've gained from Margaret's passive, Tomiel's passive, Freya's relic. You know, if you've got Liz's relic as well, he's going to be stealing all of those stats off of you. So of course, you know, it's something just to bear in mind. Of course, if you do have Mael Whaled, you go 5-6 or 6-6, you can just run Mael. That team is actually probably much more efficient, much quicker. The Tarmiel team can be a little slow, and if you don't really have high tubes for Tarmiel just becomes a boxing mag. He's not even that useful. The buffs are not too bad though. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.